Oh my God, who's calling me? Hello, guys. I'm a little late. We're supposed to be studying like 23 minutes ago. But, you know, giving myself grace. Okay, how do I share this? Okay, cool. I am studying for the Cloud Beta exam. Really just browsing through the old Cloud Plus study guide that they have to understand what topics that they're going about, and then getting some key terminology and just really trying to understand like the type of questions that they would ask on the exam. I plan to do this. I scheduled the exam for, because I changed the date, mid-August. Yes, I scheduled it for mid-August, and it's so weird because like I can't hear myself. I scheduled it for mid-August, and then plan to study plan to like read maybe up until like a week before, or maybe for another week and a half. Well, August is already here, and then try to find some test banks and just do some practice questions. What I've noticed so far, I'm only on chapter 3. I haven't gotten very far. What I've noticed so far is that Cloud Plus really looks like Security Plus. If immediately probably go for Cloud Plus. There are some topics that are applied to cloud that you need to know about. But for the most part, I haven't really seen a big difference. So is that doing that again? I messed up. Edit. Hold on. Cool. Let me share my screen and we can get started, or I can get started. If people want to join, hopefully they will. I'm probably going to move this to Zoom, like as in a more official study guide for people, like how I did with my Security Plus one. But things are still up in the air for the moment. Okay, what am I doing right now? I want my notes and to share my screen. Let's hide this. Show. We can. I'm going to share my entire screen because I want to finish my notes and like clean up my notes. And I know somebody had asked like, how do I put my notes together? Now, granted, this isn't a very in-depth let me just snap these side by side. Very in-depth notes, mainly because, again, this is, I think, at least for me, what's happening? For me, I didn't need that heavy of in-depth of notes for this exam, but if it was something different, like if I was studying for like CISSP, that would be totally different. Where are the chapters? So this is the CompTIA Cloud Plus Study Guide, 2nd edition. Todd Montgomery and Stephen Olson. This is the exam guide I was able to find a PDF for, so this is what I'll be using as reference for the moment, because I wasn't going to pay for anything. So let me, I also need to take this initial test. Actually, we should do that one. Should we do that one first? Okay, no, let me do what I said I was going to do. Okay, cool. So this is going to be like a study guide slash, move out the way, Notion, slash making sure I captured like the right information. So I got this template. I use Notion for like everything. That has been my go-to for like organizing my life. So I use it for my study guides. And what I do is, as you see, I kind of just have this really blank page and I just put each chapter. And I put the title of what book. So this is the CompTIA Cloud Plus Study Guide. So for chapter 1, on the left-hand side with the template, they have like a recall. So I use that for terminology, which is really just highlighted terms that are, or highlighted vocabulary that I see in the book. And I put notes, I put in more in-depth notes or definitions of something on the right if I just want to recall it, or maybe I just need to, maybe if I am having trouble remembering it, then I go a little bit more in depth. Or if it's a term that has kind of nested terminology, so like I'll give an example in a second, but if it has more things that's more than a bullet point, then I'll put that on the notes side. Let me just make sure that I'm not really talking to myself. Okay, I can hear me. Cool. I just wanted to make sure I can hear myself. Cool. So for like chapter 1, I really wish I could figure out how to get them to stop doing that on Notion. So for chapter 1, a lot of the terminology was just about the introduction of cloud computing, like the actual little definition. Not sure if you could move Notion. Oh my gosh. I'm going to kill them. Is it because I move? Okay, there we go. So as you can see, like things that are in italicized, I kind of highlighted. So like cloud computing, I didn't put service. Oh, I did put cloud service provider, cloud service provider. Those are easy. I did highlight the NIST 800-145 because that's about their cloud computing definitions. That's definitely something that people shouldn't, you should definitely read at some point. Not all at once, maybe at once. But you should definitely be familiar with it. So I did highlight that. What was next? I just want to make sure. So pay-as-you-go billing. I saw they have something called pay-as-you-grow, which I'm not going to lie, I haven't seen when I study for like the big 3 exams. I haven't seen pay-as-you-grow. I know pay-as-you-go. And I was trying to figure out, are they trying to trip us up with that, or if that's the same concept? Same concept, and it sort of kind of was. So like pay-as-you-go is a model where cloud computing allows you to just pay for the resources that you're utilizing, and therefore, if I use just one VM for the month and I only use it maybe a couple of times and I don't have it running anything pretty intense, then I'm not going to pay as much money compared to like on premise, where in order for me to spin up a new VM, I would have to pay up front with the infrastructure cost. So the cost it takes to kind of put that infrastructure up. So like that's the main differences. They were showing in-house computing and cloud computing models. So I didn't put mainframe computers because I understand what mainframe are. But again, I highly recommend when you're going through studying and you're recalling, move out of the way, when you're recalling terminology, put things that, I put a combination of things I know and I don't know, right? So it's easy for me to just put cloud computing because I already understand like the concepts of that. But I also want to recall that, hey, in chapter 1, it went over cloud computing. It went over cloud service providers. It went over NIST. Just so that way I know what this chapter was about. I don't know. It helps me. I didn't mind doing it. All right. I have to figure out a way, Notion, because you're about to make me an enemy now. How did I do it before? Okay. There we go. Oh, wait. Dang. I was just looking at me and I realized I wasn't sharing my screen. Restream. Are you about to make me an idiot again? You are. Let me share my screen again. I said I was sharing it, and hey, Flip God. Yep, the exam is only $50. It's super cheap, and I don't know if CompTIA only did this because of, hold on. I don't know if CompTIA only did this because of COVID, but I noticed, so I changed my exam, right? Because I made my exam for next week.
Hey, Flip God. Yep.
Yeah, okay, so I can't see me. So I made my exam for next week, and then I pushed it out to August, and I didn't have to do a change fee because usually you have to do a change fee if you do that. I don't know if CompTIA only did this because of COVID. Yeah, it's not sharing my screen. Let's try. Oh, you know why? Because. And then I pushed it out to August, and I didn't have to do a change fee because usually you have to do a change fee if you do that. I don't know if CompTIA only did this because of COVID. Yeah, it's not sharing my screen. Yes, I did see that with this CYSS beta. They do that. They tend to do that with all of them. No, you did not join late. I didn't really get into anything because I was trying to get my notes together. And then, of course, I wasn't sharing my screen because I'm not really good at doing that. Okay. Yeah, it's not sharing my screen. Yes, I did see that. Cool. I'm sharing my screen now. So what I was trying to say before this interrupted me was that this is how I do my notes in Notion. I use Notion for everything, for organizing my life. So this is the how do I, okay, there we go. So this is the Cloud Plus study guide. I'm using this as a way to understand what's on the exam or what's expected of me on the exam. Because I work in cloud security, I'm hoping that this will just reinforce the things I already know, and therefore I can use this as a way to go ahead and pass the exam. Cool. So for chapter 1, please move out of my way. Please stop that. Thank you very much. So right now, I didn't start doing the questions yet. Right now, I'm just going through chapter 1 to make sure I got all the concepts down. And then I'm going to go through chapter 2 to make sure I got all the concepts down. And then we can go ahead and take some practice questions. So cool. So chapter 1 is like, given a scenario, analyze system requirements to ensure successful system deployment, which is about platform and applications, kind of network applications, storage, compute, security, all of the things that are components of cloud computing, baselines, target hosts, and then it goes into kind of shared components, production, and development, sizing, performance, XYZ. So let's go through. So what I was trying to show you guys before, when I noticed I wasn't sharing my screen, is that with this template that's on the right-hand side, that's Notion, right? So I have two columns. I have terminology, which is really vocabulary that they either have italicized or that I wanted to call out to myself, just concepts that are in this chapter. And on the right is more in-depth notes of something that maybe I needed to recall, right? So for example, even though I put NIST SP 800-145, which is the cloud computing one, I defined it by saying, well, NIST defines the cloud with 5 essential characteristics, 3 service models, and 4 deployment models, right? So I wanted to make sure that if there was an exam asking, hey, you know, how many deployment models does NIST have, or how many service models they have, I wanted to make sure I had reference of that for me later. Cool, I can hear myself. Gotta double check these things because I've been having so much trouble with streaming. Okay, cool. So terminology I got out of this chapter, and I shared this PDF on my Discord. If you need a copy of it, you just have to tweet me because I don't know how else to get it to you. And then I can like add you to Discord and you can get it. So cloud computing, easy enough. Cloud service provider. NIST SP 800-145, I was saying, is really important to at some point go over and go through. Because again, it tells you how things are defined. And I've noticed in literally all of my jobs, which most jobs in the United States, not even just the United States, most jobs everywhere, align their security controls or align their environments based off of regulation. So like, or based off of framework. So they might use NIST, or if they're regulated, they process credit cards, they might be under PCI. So like call out things like that. That'll help you later. Move. Okay. All right, so we got cloud computing, cloud service provider, I already have. Models, I already know about. Virtualization, cool. Cloud service models, I called out. So the cloud service models I was already familiar with, which is software as a service, infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service. What I wasn't familiar with, or haven't really seen because I haven't, or at least haven't seen in the cloud setting that I've been doing, or especially with like the big three. And by big three, I'm talking about Google, AWS, and Azure. So they have something called communication as a service. So I highlighted that, anything as a service, desktop as a service I heard of, and then business process as a service, right? And I think these are still things that are pretty niche that companies are trying to figure out, or that companies are implementing. It's not like as widely known as maybe software as a service, right? Everyone knows about software as a service because every company at some point, I'm 100% sure a good 80% of companies all have some software as a service in their company right now. Cool. So they go more into depth about software as a service and how it's defined by NIST, which is cool. If you need that definition, I highly recommend you call that out in your notes. And they do the same for infrastructure as a service and platform as a service. I just wrote down the extra ones that I wasn't familiar with, which is the communication as a service. So communication as a service includes hosted voice, video conferencing, instant messaging, email collaboration, and all other communication services. Anything as a service is best described as offering complete IT services as a package, which is probably like a combination of things. Desktop as a service is just like literally a virtualized desktop that is hosted and that's given out. I'm trying to figure out, all desktop applications are hosted in the cloud. Oh, okay. So at first I was trying to figure out, so what is ooh, that was me. Sorry guys, I turned my light off. Oh no, is that me? Oh. I have a light because it's dark here in my mama's house. Cool. So desktop as a service, I was trying to figure out at first, how is that different? It's virtualization, like infrastructure virtualization. So I was like, how is that different? But I think they literally are giving you imagine like this laptop that has a whole bunch of components installed. They're literally giving you a laptop. Whereas infrastructure as a service doesn't give you any of that, right? They're just giving you the bare minimum, like the bare metal resources to install the applications and things that you need. Whereas desktop as a service is doing much more than that. Business process as a service, cloud reference design and study models. So you have public, private, community, and hybrid. Those are the 4 models that are defined in NIST. I already have applications, automation, computing, and networking, security. All right, I think I have everything, so we can go through the first couple of questions for chapter 1. And if I need to come back, then I'll come back. Now, written lab, they have a written lab and they have questions lab. I am horrible at written lab, but we can try. Let's see, I want to delete that. So this is going to be written lab questions. And let me double check because I can only see questions on, I can't see questions on. Betas are usually super cheap, but you don't get results. Okay, I'm not on Twitter. Drop the Discord link. Ooh, heard you. Okay. Give me a second. And then I can hopefully send it to you. We can try these written lab questions. I'm not very good at them. I'm better at like A, B, C, D. Ask me to narrow down some things. So if you guys, hope you have some pen and paper and then we can do these together. I was about to say, how can I see you guys talking? Okay, cool. Oh, or feature notion. Okay, with the Blink as a service model, the cloud service provider owns and manages all level of computing environment. We already know that that is software as a, I don't know how they want me to type that. I should just put that, huh? Okay, cool. With the Blink as a service, I'm an idiot. You just literally have to write software, don't you? With the Blink as a service model, the cloud provider owns, sorry, I'm on question 2 right now. Let me highlight that. I'm not very good. I'm only good at being a proctor. I'm so used to just being a proctor. All right, you don't want to highlight. I'm on number 2. With the Blink as a service model, the cloud provider owns and manages the computing hardware, but not the operating system or the applications. I'm going to read number 3. The cloud provider owns and manages the hardware and operating system, but not the application. Okay, so that's what I was trying to figure out. 2 is platform. And then 3 is infrastructure. I hope. So what made me and this is something that because I know in my Security Plus we were asking like, how do you like what tips do you do for studying for exams? So even though this is written, I'm doing this the same way I would do as other test questions, right? I tend to go through all of them and try to, especially if I can read them like this, or if I have to just click through and read them, because sometimes if I don't know or if I'm not sure about an answer to one question, more than likely that might be answered later on on another question, and then therefore that'll help me kind of backtrack and reference with that one. Okay, cool. Number 4, Blink refers to the ability to access the cloud resources from anywhere in the network from a variety of devices such as laptop, tables, smartphones, and or thick clients. Is that ubiquitous access? I feel like it is. That's why I hate fill in the blank ones, because I need you to just tell me what answers I need to narrow down, because then that'll help me. I'm like, oh, okay, that is, like, this is that. I want to say it's ubiquitous access only because I remember reading, and did I write this down in my notes? Is this cheating? Oh, it is. See, boom, I knew it. Ubiquitous. See, I didn't even spell that right. Why would you even put that on an exam? Number 5, Blink is the ability to take physical data center resources such as RAM, CPU, storage, and network, and create a software representation of those resources that enable large-scale cloud offerings. Am I bugging? Is the ability to take physical data, virtualization? Yeah. Right? Is the ability to take physical data center resources, such as, this is why I don't take tests, networking, and create a software representation. Yeah, virtualization. You don't give me no option, so I don't know. So I'm just going to assume that I'm right. I really wish I can see. Use the objective. Oops, not what I want to pull up. 6. Use the objective? What you talking about? Oh, you mean the objective in chapter 1? To like answer these questions, I hope. Is that what you're asking me? Number 6, network interconnectivity between your corporate data center and your cloud operations is accomplished using either blank blank or a blank. So you can use VPN, right? Dang, I don't know if what I'm thinking applies here, right? So, okay, so what was immediately in my head is you can do a VPN service between your data center and your on-cloud premise. You could do something called direct connect, but I think that is literally strictly for a cloud, like that's not cloud agnostic, right? And I don't remember them referencing that in chapter 1. And this is why reading is fundamental, everybody, because I didn't read the entire chapter. I just skimmed it. Yeah, so you could do VPN, you could do direct connect. I don't know if they're talking about in terms of using it, right? Because then if that's the case of just using it, then you can use APIs, you can use a command line, and you can use a GUI. So I'm going to assume it's those 3 because those are 3 options. And that I'm not thinking too hard into. I feel like I'm thinking too hard right now. So you can use a GUI, you can use a command line, or you can use, what did I just say? APIs. 7, blank is the transfer, synchronization, and synchronization of data between multiple data centers. What? Is the transfer and synchronization of data. So they had I don't think it was this chapter. So they have asynchronous and synchronization where one is in real time and one isn't. Blank. Let me see. Do I have a vocabulary word that'll help me or not? Of data between multiple data centers. Oh, it is synchronous and asynchronous. Oh, replication. That's all right. I want to say it's replication. Is it replication? Because I'm thinking if you're doing a synchronization between multiple data centers, I remember them talking, and I think that's the next chapter where they were talking about RAID, which I freaking hate. I hate learning the different RAID 0s and RAID 1s and RAID 5s, but they were talking about backups. So I'm thinking here that they're talking about transfer. Yeah, there you go. Boozing is backups, right? Replication. Is the word backup or is it replication? We'll see. We'll figure it out. I don't know. 8, blank blank addresses the issues found. Is there a way that I can put the chat? Yeah, hold on. Give me a second, guys. Because I have 2 different chats and I'm trying to, I want to put them side by side. It might make my thing really small though. So I apologize in advance. If not, if it does, then I'll just, I'll change it back if it's too small for you guys. I agree, Steve. Replication can be used for backup, but they're not the same thing, a backup and replicating. But I was trying to figure out what are they saying here, because they're not saying, oh, I'm storing it. So, like, so I'm just, am I replicating across data centers or am I using this as a backup? Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay, so that's cool. I'm going to see if I can just see the restream chat on my phone. It'll be so much easier. I go back home next week and I'll have my 2 screens. because I miss having two screens at my disposal. All right, snap back into place, please. Thank you very much. Let me pull this up. Now this is weird because my thing is switched. I put them on different sides. Bump, 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 bump. Share my screen. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I mainly do GCP actually. For work as of recently, I've been knee deep in Azure. And at a previous company, I worked with AWS. But my main go-to, or like, I guess specialty, what they would like to say, is with GCP. I worked really a lot in the Google Cloud Platform, and that's what I'm partial to with a lot of my projects. Okay, number 8. Where's number 8? Blank addresses the issues found when cloud workloads and connections increase to the point where a single server can no longer handle the workload by spreading the workload across multiple cloud computing resources. That is load balancing. Cool. Common remote access protocols used to manage servers in the cloud include Blink and Blink. I gotta read that again. Common remote access protocols used to manage servers in the cloud include, is that where the VPN comes in? Blank and Blank. Do I have that? I don't have it. What's the point of writing notes if I don't even got what I need in here? I want to say common remote access protocols used to manage servers in the cloud include SSH, like you can shell into it, or Bastion. That wasn't in there either. Do y'all have an answer? Let me see. Y'all got an answer for me? Yes, I thought SSH too, but what's the second one? So when I went into Azure, so they have, you can either SSH into it or you can Bastion into it. But that wasn't in chapter 1. Like I didn't read, or what I read wasn't in there. Let's see. I'm going to put SSH, and Bastion. Or listen. I don't know. We're going to say put SSH and Blink. Hopefully they give you partial credit on this test. Blink collect data and provide trend analysis and capacity utilization information measured over time to determine the average or expected metric of a service in normal operation. I see right there it says performance metrics, so I want to say it's performance metrics, or it's some kind of, oh, thanks. I think that's, I'm not sure who that is. Nan's G Scopes. Blink collect data and provide trend analysis. I'm going to say that's something like performance metrics or logging. I'm going to put performance metrics. No, because if it would have two thingies on it. Logging. I want to say logging. That's the only thing that collects data. Like you either have a logging metric set up and then you can use it for performance, but also density log. I'm going to put logging. What do you guys say? SSL? Yeah, I think VPN too. SSH and VPN. That's what I thought as well too. In order to be able to access it. We'll see. I'll look at the answers right after. SSL I don't think would really apply here. I'm going to do logging for number 10. I'm not sure if that's the answer. Is this going to, okay, this is going to go directly into, should I get the answers first? Or should I just keep going with questions and then do the answers after? Which one's easier? Or which one would you guys prefer? No? I'm gonna just keep going, and then we'll come back to it, and then I'll get the answers later. So these are the answers for the written lab questions, and these are review questions. The other ones, cool. And then I'll come back. I don't know what my mom is watching. Number one, which cloud model, and they probably overlap too. Which cloud model delivers server hardware with no operating system? Platform as a service. Am I bugging? Right? I'm bugging. It said hardware. Don't get crazy. A cloud service provider allocates resources into a group. Sorry, I'm on number two. Yes, cool. I can highlight. A cloud service provider allocates resources into a group. These resources are then dynamically allocated and reallocated as the demand requires. What is this referred as? Resource pooling. Why did I do that? Okay. Right? Cloud service provider allocates resources in a group. I know that was one of the definitions for resource pooling. And then these resources are dynamically allocated. Yeah, I'm going to say that one. Cool. What are 3 examples of cloud elements? Choose 3. Cloud elements. So CPU, that's and everything. Resource groups, memory, storage, scalability, SSH. Okay, so scalability is definitely in there. Storage is definitely in there. Cloud element? Okay, so right now I have D and E. I'm a little iffy on F because though you can SSH into a resource, that's not like cloud specific. I want to say resource groups, B, D, and E. What you guys say? Keep going. Oh, I heard you. Answers. One person said answers, one person said keep going. Sorry, I kept going. I'll come back. CPU. Someone said CPU. I'm conflicted at how that's a cloud element, considering, I mean, they called it out a lot, and they called out everything. They called out CPU, RAMs, and operating system, and all that good stuff. Okay, what did I definitely say? I definitely said D and E, and dang, I need to treat myself like how I treat the people I give. So I only have 60 seconds, which means I already wasted 30. So I'm gonna go pee. Number 4, which of the following is not a valid pooled resource? Memory is security. If you are pooling security, I am confusion. Yes. Yes. I almost bugged out for a second. I'm like, what? Storage? Are you sharing storage? But like, yeah. Okay. What technologies are used to enable on-demand computing? I'm on number 5. What technologies are used to enable on-demand computing? Load balancing, automation, auto-scaling groups. Does it have another one? Okay, cool. So load balancing, automation, auto-scaling groups, or virtualization. It says choose 2. So to enable on-demand, you definitely need that's tricky because now all 4 of them, right? Okay, so on demand means at any given time I need it to scale up or scale down. Load balancing isn't doing that, okay, because that's just kind of spreading it around, but not necessarily on demand. Automation is definitely one. And then auto scaling groups, virtualization. Isn't virtualization obvious? Auto scaling groups is a little confusing. I want to say, do I go with the obvious or do I go with auto scaling groups? See, I am conflicted. And this is again why I don't schedule exams. Okay. I was just thinking if you guys said anything. Yeah. I'm definitely down with automation. Auto scaling groups. Okay, let me think about it. So auto scaling groups is if I have a cluster or a group of resources and it reaches some kind of capacity, it should be able to automatically do that. Yeah, so I'm going to go with that answer. And we'll see if we're right or not. So cool. Number 6, when you migrate your operations to the cloud, you decide to match computing resources. Here we go. Let me highlight it. When you migrate your operations to the cloud and you decide to match computing resources with your current requirements, what can you take advantage of to expand your compute capacity in the future? Choose 3. We have between elasticity, on-demand computing, availability zones, resiliency, pay-as-you-grow, and resource pooling. Let me read one more time. So when you migrate to the cloud and you want to match, but you want to take advantage, the keyword here for me is that you want to take advantage of how to expand your compute capacity in the future. Automatically, what came up in my head when I think of like expanding would be on demand, because I said choose 3, right? Be on demand, E pay as you grow, because they love that phrase. Resource pooling really isn't making sense to me because resource pooling is just dynamically allocating resources that cloud service providers put together. Resiliency isn't really helping me in the future. Availability zones isn't available in the future. I want to say elasticity, maybe. Yeah? Stick with it. Say it with your chest. I'm going to say it with my chest. I want to say elasticity. Am I bugging? Elasticity? Okay. What do I have so far? I have B. C doesn't make sense. D doesn't make sense. And F doesn't make sense. It has to be A. I'm gonna stay with. I'm gonna stick by it. Number 7. Your company has decided to interconnect its cloud services with 3 different service providers. What type of cloud delivery model is it creating? It is creating a hybrid. 3 different keyword 3 different service providers. If it was with, say, if they might have said 2, I might have been stuck with the. No, because that's still hybrid. No, I'm not stuck. Sorry. I'm not stuck at all. I was going to say private because sometimes if an organization has an on-premise data center and they extend to the cloud, but the cloud is owned by them, it can technically still be a private, but it's not. Here they said 3 different, so I ain't even going to go that deep. Cool. 8. Server interfaces are grouped together and aggregated into server interfaces are grouped together or aggregated into channel groups for additional throughput and fault tolerance. The LAN interfaces in the server are connected to what device? Excuse me, in a hypervisor. Virtual NIC, region, virtual switch, LAN. Region we know is out because I don't got nothing to do with nothing. Server interfaces are grouped together or aggregated into channel groups for additional throughput and tolerance. The LAN interfaces in the server are connected to what device in a hypervisor? I'm going to say virtual NIC. So they showed a model that had the virtual NIC and a switch. Shoot, I remember seeing a switch. I don't feel like a switch really. Dang, is it a switch? I should have read more, huh? See, and then also my first instinct was to go with A, but if I change it to C and it is A, that's how I usually get tripped up on tests. I'll say, oh, it's this answer, but then I'll read something else and I'm like, oh no, I recall this, and then I wind up getting it wrong. I'm gonna say with my chest today. Today is with my chest. Today is saying things with my chest. Oh, dang, it is a switch. Oh, y'all saying elasticity. Oh, I was right. So you're telling me don't say it with my chest today? I heard you. Because I saw a model with a switch. I remember seeing a NIC. I don't know why I said NIC. Okay, cool. Number 9, which cloud characteristic allows you to pay for only the services you use? We already talked about pay as you grow. Number 10, what are 3 organizational uses commonly found in the cloud? Pick 3. Development networks, public, production networks, converged networks, community, anything as a service, quality assurance, hybrid. What are you asking me? What are 3 organizational uses commonly found in the cloud? Okay, because I saw, so public, community, and hybrid automatically came out to me because those are commonly used cloud deployment models. And I'm gonna stick with that because I don't understand how development networks, production networks, or converged, or any of that really makes sense right now. Okay, so what is that? B, E, H. Cool. Number 11. Which cloud characteristics allow you to access a self-service portal to instantly create additional service, storage, or other services? Oh, snap. Did I get something wrong? No, I didn't. Oops. So which cloud characteristics allow you to access a self-service portal to instantly create additional services? Isn't that also, oh, on demand? Ooh, on demand is pay as you grow. That's what I'm saying. Self-service portal, which means I'm just logging into my cloud portal to create additional. On demand means I can access it anyway. I'm gonna do pay as you grow again. That was a little bit confusing. What say you? Pay as you grow. I am right. Okay, cool. Because technically on demand, like, I guess. So what cloud service model delivers all services, including the application, infrastructure, platform, software as a service? What was that one? Communication as a service? I think communications was just like voice control. So I'm going to do software as a service because that gives you everything. A well-architected framework includes which of the following cloud performance components? Why you guys have me choosing 4? Like, why? Okay, network latency, stateful encryption, inter-availability zone, latency, storage, IaaS, swap file, memory, scalability. What? Okay, you want me to choose 4? Okay. I'm gonna go backwards. So I definitely know scalability is a part of it. A well-architected framework. Okay, encryption, network. No, that's a thing. Is that a thing? That's a thing. Because if I'm architecting, I want to make sure that I'm putting into consideration that there's no delay happening, even if I am in the cloud. Stateful firewall, really, I don't think. Yes, you want a firewall, but zone latency, inter-availability zone latency. That's going to be out for me. Oh, inter-availability zone latency. Storage, I/O, operations per second, IaaS, swap file. Why would they make you choose 4? What are they thinking? Okay, so I'm definitely good with I, C, and possibly A. I don't feel like stateful firewall is a here thing. That inter-availability zone, I don't know. But I guess if I gotta pick something, I don't know. I'm gonna pick what y'all pick as the last one. What y'all say? No one said anything. All right, I'm gonna just pick one because that's ridiculous that they're making me choose 4. Okay, so I'm gonna go. I don't feel like stateful firewall. I'm gonna go with E. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. Cloud service providers will often segment their operations to allow for resiliency, survivability, and geographic proximity. What are these geographic segmentations referred to as regions? IA zone is included? Included in what? In the answer? For 13? Okay. Let's put D as the start. 15. What are critical steps to take prior to performing a migration to the cloud? Choose 3. Cool. 3 critical steps before. You need baselines, capacity requirements, variance measurements, documentation, automation rollout. Okay, so you definitely need documentation. That's a thing. You definitely need your capacity requirements. That's a thing. And baseline. So it's a little confusing, right? Sorry, I just went in my head. So putting a baseline, it's kind of in my head. What's going through my head right now is that baselines are 2 things. When I'm establishing a baseline, that's for me to see what are the minimum like capacity requirements, right? So those 2 kind of similar to me because you want to see what your current infrastructure, like how much capacity you're at, so that way you know when you're translating to the cloud that you're not underutilizing or overutilizing something, right? You want to make sure you're getting it as close to as possible, mirroring your on-premise infrastructure. Variance measurements is like how much difference it is. Automation rollout is key. Like that definitely does help. And it can be a really critical part. I'm not sure if they're saying it's as critical. It's necessary, but I don't know if it's a requirement to be able to migrate to the cloud. If you don't have automation in the cloud, you can still be in the cloud. It will be really hard. I'm going to say establishing a baseline. Even though I just said that didn't really make sense, but I don't see variance measurements making sense either, or automation. I feel like they're going to say it's automation. I did what I said I wasn't supposed to do, which was change my answer. IA zone. Okay, I did change your IA zone. I got you. All right, 16. Cloud operations are the responsibility of both your organization and the cloud service provider. You are right. What model defines what you are responsible for and the responsibility of the cloud provider, which is my favorite thing to talk about, is shared responsibility, C. Like I talk about that on the podcast all the time. What is the process of testing your cloud access to determine whether there is any vulnerability that an attacker could exploit? Penetration testing? Yeah, penetration testing. Because load testing is really just seeing how much capacity something could hold. 18. A medical records company wants to take advantage. Oh, we almost finished. A medical records company wants to take advantage of a complex application, but wants to realize the cost saving by accessing a shared instance of the application hosted in the cloud. Because of regulatory requirements, what type of cloud delivery model would you recommend that they use? Public, hybrid, community, private. Let's read this again. A medical records company wants to take advantage of a complex application, but wants to realize the cost savings by accessing a shared instance in the cloud. So I would recommend community, right? Community or public. The reason why I'm not going with public off the bat is because it says regulatory requirements. And usually with community, that has to do with organizations that are within the same, so like police or research institutions, they usually have like different universities can access the same research, but it's in the cloud. I want to say community. I'm sorry, guys. I'll just be talking out loud in my head with this stuff. Cool. Almost finished. 2 more questions. What systems do cloud providers implement for rapid deployment of customer requested services? RDMS, orchestration, on-demand service catalogs. I'm going to go with orchestration. Rapid deployment. Am I bugging? Yeah, use orchestration for rapid deployment automation. On-demand provisions. I don't feel like this stuff. What cloud model delivers all services except the application? Platform as a service? Where's that? B. Cool. Let's see what our answers are, right? Because we're going to chapter 2. Okay, how do I see the answers? What say you guys? Cool. I think I can just skip to it. Table of contents. Can I skip to it? That looks ugly. No, I can't see the table of contents. I feel you. All right. I gotta continuously scroll. 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 How did you guys do? How did you guys feel about this about chapter 1? Dang, am I not there yet? Oh, okay. Okay, what's that? Okay, answer to written labs. Is this the answer to the... Okay, cool. Answer to review. Let's see how many we got right or wrong. 1 is A. Okay, we got that right. Wait, I should do the ones I got wrong. Highlight, right? Yeah. Okay, I got C right. Resource pooling. Dang. I didn't get that right at all. Dang. Elements and objects are examples of device and systems in the cloud. The question, the elements are CPU, memory, and storage. I guess. I think I interpreted that wrong because they like the way they worded the question, I thought they were trying to say like what is specific to the cloud, because CPU, memory, and storage isn't specific to the cloud. That's specific to any device that's doing any kind of computing. Okay. C I got right. B I got 5. I got partially right. One of the prime advantages of cloud-based computing and the automation, the ability to leverage rapid provisioning of virtual resources. That might be an answer that I might got wrong later. To allow for on-demand computing. Okay, so I got that wrong. Excuse me, kombucha is out here. Okay, A, B, E. I got it right, even though I put it in the wrong order. Hey. Oh wait, I'm about to highlight it like I got it wrong. I didn't. 7 is B. 8 is C. 9 is B. 10 is wrong. Dang, I didn't get 1 right. What question was that? It's common practice and strongly encouraged to split operations into different isolated sections of the cloud to prevent interference between development operations. Okay, I need to come back to 10 because I don't know what that question, I don't remember what that question asked me. 11 is B, on-demand cloud computing. All right, we're going to come back to all these questions. 12 is C. 13, that's the one I hated. Okay, so A is there. E is there. Oh, I didn't put G and I. Okay, so I got C was wrong and D wasn't mine. I was just asking somebody. Okay, so I was close. 14 is A. 15 is, okay, I didn't get that one. 16 is C. 17 is C. 18 is C. 19 is B. 19 is B. Okay. So the ones where they were asking me to do the most is clearly where I was going wrong. And I already knew that. Like, why are you asking me to pick 3 different ones? Like, that's just not, dang, it's baselines. And shout out to RDP. Okay. So first one is software. Dang, didn't I say infrastructure for the first one too? Oh, I switched. Didn't I say? I definitely did say it too. I was going to switch it. Highlight it. Golly. Cool. 4, ubiquitous access. 5 is virtualization. 6, I was right with direct connection and VPN. Okay. All right. So I cannot question myself. Luckily, there's no fill in the blanks with this. Direct. Oops. I don't know why I'm typing in caps. Sorry, guys. 7 is replication. 8 is load balancing. 9, SSH RDP. Shout out to you. I don't want to say I was wrong with this one because I think login is it and baselines is it, but you know, just fine. Fine. Okay, cool. That was really long for chapter 1. So we could come back and do chapter 2 another time. And that'll give you time for those of you who don't have, dang, sorry guys. I said I was going to go back to the questions. Let me do that before I say what I was going to say. Hold on. My chat told me this whole time y'all wasn't seeing my screen, y'all were just looking at me. That's crazy. I wanted to go back to the chapter. Did I go too far? Oh no, that's chapter 5. I hate PDFs, or at least I hate PDFs like this that don't allow me to just click where I need to click. Okay, so number 3. What are 3 examples of cloud elements? I'm an idiot. Why didn't I get the... Okay, well, clearly it wasn't B, E, and D. They said it was CPU, memory, and storage. Cool. 5. What did I say? I said it was B and C. And Homeboy said virtual. I knew it was virtualization. I should have stuck with my first answer. 10. 10 was all wrong. Sugar Honey Iced Tea, Dominique West. Yo, why won't this let me click over? Let's see. Always showed sidebar. Oh, you're an idiot. I'm not an idiot. I need to stop saying that, but like, that was dumb. Okay. Cool. 10. ACG. ACG. 13 was AEGI, so I got just one wrong on there. 15 was ABD. ABD. Cool. Oh, because we already know we can go up 10. Okay, 3 organizational uses commonly found in the cloud. They said was development networks, production networks, and quality assurance. Okay, I can give them that. 13 is C, encryption. A, I got that right. E, I got that right. G, swap file. Yeah, I definitely wasn't going to pick that at all. I wasn't even thinking of that, not even close. And then 15 is ABD. Baselines. I thought I said baselines. Am I bugging? No, I said capacity requirements. Documentation. I put automation, even though I talked myself out of it, and I said baselines the first time, and I switched my answer, and I shouldn't have. Okay, cool. Well, this was a great study session for chapter 1. Clearly, I need to read the entirety of the book or the chapter, because I don't do that. But yeah, I plan on doing a couple of more of these or a little bit more formalized. I was trying to figure out, do I get everybody together on a Zoom like how I did before with Security Plus, or if I should um, do something like this, which is a little bit more community and more people can kind of join than if I try to get Zoom link, because people might not get the Zoom. They can't blah, blah, blah. They can't re-upload Zoom unless I record it and I have to figure out a way to record it or all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, I am going to figure all of that out. I hope you guys got the answers right. And yeah, we'll do more of this later. Okay, bye.